Greetings, fellow carbon-based bipeds. I am Scott Rose, and you are watching Explosions and Stuff. Today, I'll be reviewing the 2014 film The Guvnors, starring Doug Allen and Harley Sylvester. An overview of the film? Trying to make a name for himself, the leader of a London gang beats an old man who insulted him to death. Now, seeking revenge for the murder of his mentor, Mitch reunites the Guvnors, his former gang from the early 90s. A battle begins between the old and the new that can only end in bloodshed. The pros of this movie? Well, first of all, it had little to no shaky cam, which I absolutely loved. I hate shaky cam, so it was very refreshing to see a movie that didn't really have any. This movie had great cinematography. It was very well shot. The lighting was excellent. The scenes weren't really quick, but they didn't drag on longer than they needed to. They were well framed, well put together, and it was amazingly edited. This was a greatly done movie. It was also very well acted, and surprisingly, Harley Sylvester, this was his first acting job. And he did a great job considering it was his first acting job ever. Everyone else did a very good job making the roles believable and making them stand out and making me care about this movie and these characters. This movie was very much story driven, and because of that, because it needed to be story driven, it was very well written. I cared about what was going on in this movie. I cared about what was happening with all of these people. Everyone was believable, and everyone had a reason for the things they were doing. It was just fantastic. I loved it. The cons of this movie? Well, first of all, because this movie was so story driven, the action scenes were few and far between, and it was just the time between them seemed kind of slow and long and drawn out. And I get it, it's a story driven movie, but that's still not a very good thing to have in an action movie. Also, the tattoos in this movie were clearly makeup. You know, the tattoos, they fade over time. The color fades away, they don't have the same boldness and brightness up to them. But this guy's tattoos in 1994 looked exactly the same as they did in 2014. That's a 20-year time difference. Tattoos are gonna fade, but his didn't fade a single bit. No, that's unbelievable. And that just took me out of it. Also, another thing I didn't like is this one isn't really a big deal, but they had a lot of British lingo. I get it, this is a British movie. It was made in the UK, it was filmed in London, it takes place in London, England. I get it, and that's not the issue. The problem is, I'm not English, I'm not British, so I didn't understand a lot of this British lingo. It's one of those whole, two countries separated by a common language. Different words mean different things in England and in the US, and I'm an American, so I didn't understand a lot of this British lingo. I don't expect them to use the American lingo to cater to me. I don't expect that at all. It's just kind of difficult to enjoy a movie when I can't understand what's going on because of the casual lingo that they use. I also felt this movie had an unnecessary plot twist. I'm not going to reveal what the twist was because, spoilers, but it definitely took away from the film. It was unnecessary. You had a great storyline going without it, this nice revenge story, and then you threw this little tidbit in, and it just threw the whole thing kind of out of whack. It felt like they were just trying to buy some time and make the movie a little longer. And it just felt really out of place and unnecessary. My least favorite thing about this movie, though, is it had a horrible US title. Now, the title The Guvnors is its official UK release title. In the US, it's known as Hoodies versus Hooligans. That's just a really bad name. It's like they just took it like, okay, hoodies and hooligans, those are two groups of people in the UK that are known for causing trouble, and The newer gang members, the younger gang, they wear hoods. So we'll go with that. Americans won't know the difference. And I'll admit, I don't know the difference. I just think it's a really bad title. They should have kept the original one, The Guvnors. That is a great title. They should have just kept that and left alone and stayed with that title and not given it this new crappy title. My favorite action scene of this movie? Easily the massive brawl at the end of the movie. It's like this 20 people from the younger people gang and 20 people from the former gang from the early 90s. And they just meet in this little courtyard and they just go at each other in this hand-to-hand fight. It was fantastic. Yeah, it was kind of quick and it was hard to focus on one individual person, but you're not supposed to in a massive brawl like that. You're supposed to be like, oh, bodies flying everywhere. It was amazing. I loved that fight scene. My overall thoughts on the movie? This isn't your typical American action movie. It's not action driven, and it's not filled with explosions and fights like most American action movies would be. That being said, it doesn't have the constant shaky cam and quick cuts that have become so popular in American action movies. So I give this movie one thumb up. This movie is not for everyone. If you want an exciting movie with a compelling story that you have to pay attention to in order to fully understand what's going on, then check out this movie. However, if you want a movie where you can just shut off your brain and be entertained for an hour and a half, then this movie is not for you. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like it and subscribe to my channel for new action movie reviews posted every Friday. Also, if you have any recommendations for movies you would like me to review in the future, please leave them in the comments below. Thank you and have a nice day.